The scientific revolution is often remembered as a golden era that reshaped humanity's understanding of the universe and our place within it. However, behind the celebrated discoveries and genius lies a darker, more ethically complex story. Many of the advancements of this period were achieved at a significant human cost, with science often used to justify harmful practices, exploit vulnerable populations, and even serve as a tool for oppression. Unpacking the lesser-known aspects of this era sheds light on the shadowy path of scientific progress. One of the most disturbing facets of the scientific revolution was the unethical experimentation that often bordered on cruelty. Driven by a desire to understand human anatomy and physiology, scientists frequently conducted dissections and surgeries on living or freshly deceased individuals, often without consent. Public dissections became events where people paid to witness dissections of bodies, typically criminals or marginalized individuals who had little say in the matter. This unsettling practice reveals a society captivated by the macabre, willing to overlook individuals suffering in the pursuit of knowledge. Early experiments also involved the dissection of animals, sometimes in grotesque conditions, as scientists sought to understand circulation, respiration, and other bodily functions. Figures like William Harvey and Andreas Vesalius, though now celebrated for their discoveries, contributed to a culture where the boundaries of ethical science were stretched to uncomfortable extremes. In addition to these experiments, the scientific revolution was marred by intense clashes with religious and political authorities. Figures like Galileo Galilei and Giordano Bruno became martyrs of scientific progress, punished for their findings and ideas that contradicted dominant church doctrines. Galileo, for example, faced the Inquisition and was forced to renounce his heliocentric theory under threat of torture, while Bruno was burned at the stake for his radical ideas about the cosmos and the nature of the divine. These stories highlight how deeply entrenched institutions sought to suppress knowledge that challenged their authority, revealing a time when advancing science was not only risky but life-threatening. Galileo's silencing is a particularly striking example of how authority could dictate acceptable knowledge, a control that stalled scientific progress and stifled intellectual freedom. Another dark element of the scientific revolution was the practice of alchemy, which blurred the line between legitimate science and mysticism. Alchemists sought to turn base metals into gold and, more dangerously, to discover elixirs for immortality or the mythical philosopher's stone, believed to grant eternal life. The pursuit of these elusive goals led many alchemists down dangerous paths, often experimenting with toxic chemicals like mercury, sulfur, and arsenic. Some alchemists poisoned themselves and their followers, victims of their own belief in these concoctions. Despite the mystical nature of alchemy, it laid the foundation for modern chemistry. However, it also exemplified the hazards of pseudoscience, where unproven methods led to real harm. The scientific revolution also inadvertently laid the groundwork for some of the deadliest weapons in history. As scientists expanded their understanding of physics and chemistry, new methods of warfare emerged. The discovery and refinement of gunpowder, initially brought to Europe from China, transformed battles, making them far more lethal and paving the way for artillery and firearms that would shape conflicts for centuries. This dark legacy continued into later eras, where scientific advances contributed to the development of chemical warfare and even nuclear weapons, demonstrating how scientific knowledge, though neutral in itself, could be wielded as a tool for destruction. The era's early forays into weaponized science reflect a period where knowledge for peace coexisted with knowledge for war, showing the morally ambiguous uses of scientific progress. Another sinister aspect of this era was the exploitation of marginalized individuals in the name of research. As science expanded, so did the desire to study human diversity, which led to the systematic exploitation of indigenous communities and people from lower socioeconomic classes. Human remains were collected, transported, and displayed in European cabinets of curiosity, often without permission, to satisfy scientific curiosity and further anthropological research. This led to the rise of phrenology and scientific racism, where certain physical traits were misinterpreted as indicators of intelligence or moral character. Scientists claimed that such pseudoscientific findings justified colonialism, slavery, and racial discrimination, influencing social policies and legitimizing oppressive systems. The misuse of scientific theories to justify social hierarchies left a dark legacy, one that took centuries to begin undoing and which still resonates in contemporary discussions about ethics in research. Medicine, too, during the scientific revolution, was fraught with brutal and often dangerous practices. Without modern understanding of germs or anesthesia, surgeries were conducted in crude conditions. Techniques such as bloodletting, trepanation, drilling holes in the skull to release evil spirits, and even using toxic substances like mercury for treatment were common. Surgeons performed amputations and other invasive procedures without anesthesia, leading to high mortality rates and unimaginable pain. Physicians believed in balancing bodily humors, often prescribing remedies that were as harmful as the illnesses they aimed to cure. Despite these harsh methods, early medicine laid the groundwork for future advancements, but it also left many patients permanently scarred or worse. The harsh realities of early medical science highlight the extreme risks taken in the name of health, demonstrating the darker side of a field that was only beginning to understand how to heal. The scientific revolution was undeniably a time of progress and discovery, but examining its darker aspects reveals the moral ambiguities that came with these advancements. The willingness to push ethical boundaries, exploit marginalized populations, and blur the lines between science and mysticism demonstrates that even the most celebrated eras of human innovation have shadows. This exploration of the dark side of the scientific revolution serves as a powerful reminder that progress often comes with difficult choices and ethical compromises, encouraging us to reflect on the costs of advancement even as we celebrate its achievements. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and press bell icon for more details.